Hi, listeners. We want to preface today's episode with a warning that topics related to domestic violence and abuse will be discussed. If that's something that may be upsetting or triggering for some of our listeners, please take care while listening or feel free to skip this one altogether. We've linked some support resources in the description of this episode, but most of all, want our listeners to know that we are always a safe space for anyone dealing with similar traumatic events. We love you and are here for you always.
Everyone, welcome back to Fiction Unstable with Jessica, Maciel,
And Lauren.
And today we have something different for you guys. We're doing a movie today, and if you couldn't tell by the lilies and the book, we're going to do It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover, but specifically we're going to do the Netflix adaptation movie. I, for one, have not read the book and or watched the movie yet, so this will be a fresh reaction from me.
Did you read the book?
I did.
Okay.
I've read the book. I also saw the movie when it was in theaters once. So I don't remember much from what I've watched, but.
I also read the book and watched the movie.
Yeah.
I don't remember it, but.
We are wearing our, I guess, Lily Bloom inspired outfits today with our flannels and
things that don't match.
whatever the heck I'm wearing right now is. But that's what I got off the internet. So we trade.
Okay.
To Miss Lively.
I guess our flow or setup for today is we're going to kind of give you our real life reactions to what goes on in the movie. And then periodically we will be stopping here and there just to talk about what has happened and our interpretations and our opinions that's happened so far.
Yeah.
Yep. Anything else you guys want to add before we start?
No.
Okay. All right, let's move on.
It's TV.
Okay. All right, let me pause because I already have opinions. Oh, crap. Not mute it.
Okay, so for listeners, this is what's happened so far. Movie started. We're about 15 minutes in, 17 minutes in, actually. Blake Lively plays Lily Bloom, the main protagonist, female protagonist in the story. And then Justin Baldoni plays Ryle
Kincaid.
Who is supposedly, I guess not supposedly, that is his job. He is a neurosurgeon. So he is going to be, as of right now, the main male character. We know that she went to her father's funeral where she had 0 words to say. Good things to say about her father. She didn't say anything, actually. She just walked away. And then she shows up on the rooftop of Ryle's home, apartment, penthouse, whatever she lived on.
No.
Nope. She was just in a mechanic's jumpsuit sitting on the edge. And he had just finished doing surgery on a 6-year-old child who was killed by a gunshot wound. So he was in his feelings, of course. Rightly so.
Rightly so.
And then they have a moment. The most awkward moment, I think. But that's where we're at.
Okay, well, number one, I think it's kind of hot when you're sitting there and someone pulls you close to them. I'll give them points for that. I like that part. Personally, for me.
Right. She said, hey, give me a move. And he said, okay. So he pulled the chair under her.
Yeah.
Not from under her. He pulled the chair closer to him.
Sitting on from underneath, closer to.
Yeah.
And then he tried to start taking off her jumpsuit, but then he got a phone call.
Yeah.
I realized there were too many buttons on the jumpsuit.
Funny to me how he's a neurosurgeon because as someone in the healthcare industry, doctors and especially surgeons in general are notoriously known for being promiscuous, slutty, cheaters, all of the above. So
she did her research then for the character.
Yeah. He did his research.
Mm-hmm.
And he's also the director of this movie. So not only as the character, he did his research.
Yes.
As a director.
I haven't watched many things with Blake Lively now that I'm thinking about it. I don't remember the last thing I've ever watched with her in it or if I've watched anything at all.
I watched Sister of the Traveling Pants a long time ago.
Nope.
Sisterhood of Traveling Pants. Yes, I've
Simple
seen
Favor.
that. All of Gossip Girl, all 6 seasons she's
Nope.
in. I've seen that. And then Simple Favor. Oh, I watched Green Lantern long time
That was a
ago.
long time ago, yeah.
So I've seen a lot of things that she's acted in. It's the same character.
Literally.
Yeah, I was going to say 15 minutes in, and I'm already preferring Justin's acting over his or hers.
Yeah. It's
So-
like very one
No.
note. I feel like in A Simple Favor, her acting was a little better just because her character was like know-it-all bitch.
Yeah, I agree with that. I feel like that was a different side that I've never seen her as. She played essentially the villain.
Yeah.
And you know, even if her other characters like Serena Williams and it's not Serena Williams, Serena. I'm sorry,
tennis
Serena
player?
Williams, Serena Vanderwill, whatever her name was in Gossip Girl, Vander something.
Okay.
Anyways, her name was Serena. She had, you know, she was like the hot girl. Then she had her villain era. I would say a villain era, but again, it was always the same character. So she always plays the girl that guys want to get. Always like the hot girl. That's her character.
Interesting.
So you can tell that she definitely styled herself. Okay, the rings. I can't.
18 chunky rings.
Yes, I can't with the rings. Like, I think girls that wear a lot of jewelry on their hands, like it's cute, but it depends on what you wear. And she's wearing like chunky ass. I just spit on this. I'm so sorry. Oops. Chunky ass on her pinky too. Ugh, I hate pinky rings. It's a thing. I don't know. I don't like it.
Okay.
But they keep focusing on her hands, and I'm like, those are her. I think those are her personal rings, like Blake Lively's.
I feel like
rings.
everything she wears in this movie is from her closet.
Probably, yeah.
Not surprised.
And then also she has this thing where she can't close her mouth.
She does like this.
Yeah.
She like walks and she's like,
Yeah.
with her mouth.
Why is that? Okay. Yeah.
Also, her hair.
Her
Her hair
crazy.
is so pretty. Like she has so much hair and it's like wavy. Like when she does it.
Yeah.
And like not. She's supposed to be like your average girl, so it's supposed to look like a little
Frizzy?
disheveled. But it looks crazy.
Is that how she's described in the book?
Oh man, I
As
can't
being
remember.
somewhat
like-
disheveled?
No, I feel like in the book it really was just like she was just like a regular, person. The only thing in the book too that was different, which again to me explains why she was on that roof, is I'm pretty sure when she goes to her dad's funeral, it's like in the same building or somewhat in the same building of the apartment.
Oh.
like not a completely
Because
different
to me, like she was
city.
in Maine, now she's in a different city and happened
Yeah.
to go into a random building of an apartment.
Which, where are we? I
Right.
don't even know.
So,
Right.
New York?
plot holes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. All right. Let's continue.
All right, so and now we press play.
Okay. At 16 minutes and 55 seconds.
Yes.
All right.
Okay, pause.
Pause. Okay.
All right. We are at what happened? They did a flashback. So obviously we know in this movie they're going to be doing, or I shouldn't say obviously. If you've never seen the movie, they do flashbacks of her time as a teenager and then in real time. So they did a small little flashback scene where she is providing food for the homeless kid next door that goes to her school. His name is Atlas. And then
These are some crazy ass names in this, but.
and she lets him shower at her house and all that stuff. I think that's pretty sweet. I feel
is.
like kids looking out for kids, like high school is, I mean, middle school too is kind of brutal, but high school specifically, I think is a really brutal place, depending on everybody has a different experience. But I feel for kids that are more underprivileged. And when those that are, we don't really know if she's more, clearly she's more privileged than him in a sense because she lives at home, but we don't know so much about her story just yet. But still, the fact that she's not making fun of him, how the kids at school on the bus were making fun of him, like,
We do know that her dad is a mayor. They already said that. So like also she has some wealth.
yeah. Yeah.
That looks like the home of mayor.
Looks like
So-
a man.
Right. Yeah. So kudos to her for being a good human being. Yeah, because I freaking hate kids that make fun of underprivileged kids. It fucking sucks. So, anyways, what happens after that? She opens up her own shop. She wants it to make it a flower boutique. And then we find out that Ryle's sister, at the time we don't know who this is, some girl who thinks she has great fashion sense, but clearly she fucking does not, walks
made in
into her match made in heaven because they both be dressing crazy. Shows up to her flower shop as she's trying to fix it and asks for a job because she's bored, which is like great. But then I'm like, girl, you don't even like flowers, so why the fuck are you trying to work there?
Yeah.
Just weird.
Well, and it's funny she like Lily gave her the explanation of like why she hates flowers but also likes flowers, but that like explanation had no substance to change her mind. She's
Yeah.
like, oh, well, if you put it that way.
Yeah.
Then yeah.
And then she finds out that Ryle is a sibling of, what's her name? Alyssa.
Mhm.
And they go on their first hangout.
And is married to Ryle's friend.
Yes, Alyssa is married to Ryle's friend, or are they getting married? They're already
Getting married. Maybe.
They're together.
Together.
Yeah. And then they have their first little hangout, and Ryle basically is like obsessed with her. Okay, I'll just say this. So that comment that he made where he's like, let me just have one kiss to get you out of my system. That's not hot. Like, girls, do better. Like, you are worth more than some guy to get you out of their system. I get it. If y'all horny, you're horny. But like, I don't know. That's just fucking rude in my eyes. I was like, that was not hot.
Also,
He says that in the book. Yes.
so
I can't
I was going to
remember.
say,
Probably.
I remember in the book because I was waiting for this scene, and I don't remember if their first kiss was the same, but I do remember there's a scene left out in the movie that's from the book, was that he came over to her apartment and he came over drunk and was wanting to have sex with her to get her out of his system.
Oh.
And so he was like, just have sex with me one time and then I'll leave you alone.
That's gross.
Yeah. And so then
Ew.
in the book, she's like going back and forth. And then she finally decides, she's like, okay, like, yeah, I want to have sex with him. Like, I'll do it. And so she was like, give me a second. Like, I gotta go to shower. I gotta get ready, whatever. And so he goes and like drunkenly lays in her bed and he falls asleep.
Okay.
And so they don't have sex. And then she falls asleep. I think he sleeps over.
Mm-hmm.
And that's that interaction. So I don't think that they're like this interaction happened the same, but that I think it's mimicking that interaction.
Okay.
So technically, it's a little bit better in the movie.
It's less
better
It's
than-
less. Let me have sex with you. To
Yeah.
get
Right
out of my
away.
system.
Yeah. But then again, the first time he met her, he said he wants to have sex with her. So no matter what, it doesn't matter. He wants to get in her pants. And that's the first thing that you want. And girl, you're attracted to that. Like, he doesn't think you're smart. Like, he doesn't think nothing besides
He's just a player.
he's a player and he thinks you're beautiful. Like, that compliment can only go so far.
Right.
Anyway.
Red flags all around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then describe what she's wearing. Clearly.
Well, I don't know what she's wearing right now, but in the what was it when she was
alley?
wearing bowling? She was wearing like some
wearing-
tan patterned pants or something.
It was two different patterns of army or camouflage.
Oh,
So there was a camouflage pant that was like an off green. Then she had like a true green camouflage jacket. And then underneath that jacket was a button up that was red and white. And it looked like a tourist, like a tacky tourist shirt. And then she's wearing some kind of combat boot.
Yeah. And then Alyssa is no better. She's
Yeah.
like the same mismatched pattern, but trying to make it glam. Where
With
when she
sequins.
first meets her, she's wearing a sequence. What was it? Sequence black
It might have been a jumpsuit, too.
jumpsuit, I feel like. And then it was a floral. Girl, you don't like flowers and you're wearing floral pattern, but a floral pattern trench coat. And then she had an orange Birkin bag with these bright ass
Pink shoes.
pink heels and this like blue headband that like Blair Waldorf would wear or something.
Yeah.
And then she's wearing two different type of sequin patterns like the next time you see her on the screen.
Yeah.
Wearing a striped, sequined, long sleeve crop top and a sequin cheetah print maxi skirt.
So the overall fashion in this, at least when it comes to the ladies, is wild.
Is that the fashion in Boston? Is that what they'd be wearing?
Anybody in Boston, let us know.
No.
Confirmed.
how you'll be
Yeah.
dressing?
Sorry if we're ragging on your fashion style, but it's a little bit wild.
Clearly, I could have come. We still didn't come correct.
No,
Like Bible fashion.
I don't
Maybe a
know.
little bit more.
This
crazy.
is as crazy as I can get. Okay.
Oh, and then last thing I want to mention. So you made a comment, obviously, about the boutique where it's like, it looks like shit. And there needs to be a lot of work to be done. I'm excited to see, because I kind of already forgot what it looks like. I'm excited to see what it looks like at the end, that I'll give them the props. Like, I think people turning shit to gold is awesome.
Yeah. So far, what we see so far, it looks like it's very like antique, like vibes.
Yeah.
From what we see her trying to put up and stuff, but I don't know.
Question also, so far, like a third of the way into the movie, are you falling for Ryle Kincaid yet? Or are you?
No.
No? Okay, not at all.
I'm not.
Fair.
I mean, I'm trying to separate the actor
Justin
from the character,
Baldoni?
because I've liked Justin Baldoni since
I mean, he's hot.
Jane the Virgin. Yeah.
Raphael!
Yeah. So I'm trying to separate him, and he hasn't changed much since that show. Kudos to you, Justin Baldoni. But I'm trying to separate him from the character. The character itself, I'm like, you're very cringe, and like, I would never let you come near me. So
A little creepy.
I remember when reading the book. Now, I've read the book like, it's been like 4.5 years or something. So I don't really, and I've only read it once, so I don't remember much. But I do remember kind of thinking that he was this pretty cool guy in the book, because he's not as, from my recollection, he's not as forward as his character is in the movie. Or maybe he is as forward, but again, it's like how I'm picturing him saying things and how
he's actually
acting it out, where I'm kind of like, ew. But in the book, I was like, okay, I can see why she's digging him. Still doesn't matter. Like, I was like, girl, he's trying to get in your pants. But anyways.
Yeah.
I mean, the overall character is very hot.
I think in the book, he was definitely more like straightforward in the fact like he does not want a relationship. He is just looking for one night stands, like how he is in the movie, but like he was more straightforward about that. When in this, I feel like he's kind of using it and blurring lines to his advantage.
Yeah. Like he did say in the first half that we talked about is like, oh, I'm not like a love type of person.
Yeah.
But then he's going around saying things like, oh, I just can't get you off of my mind. And like this and that and blah, blah. Finn, come here. Finn, come here.
Sorry, buddy.
Finn, come here now.
Finn is Jess's dog, not a character in the movie.
Or you can sit on
if you're listening, he's
you can
part of our podcast today.
This is Finn. But he's very much just like, he said, oh, I'm not really about love and this like that, but then he's going around like, oh, I can't stop thinking about you, and like
his character was much more charming. I feel like with most characters
in the book,
in books,
like,
it was much more charming in that sense. Likable.
But of course, he's trying to get in her pants, so he's going to say whatever he has to say to do it.
I mean, he seems fun as a friend.
Yeah.
Overall.
Well, they're still friends, I guess.
All right.
Well, continue.
Let's continue.
Okay. At 33 minutes and 17 seconds.
All right. So, where were we at? What just happened?
The last time we left off, he said, just let me kiss you once.
Right.
Yeah.
So we see here that
she opens her flower shop.
She opens a flower shop, and he is her first customer. We find out that Alyssa is having her birthday party. So, of course, she has all these people there.
She comes dressed crazy. Literally, she's wearing like this cheap looking Shein dress with like a camo jacket. Her hair is super curly, which is cute. The hairstyle's keeping up with the outfit.
But it didn't match the outfit, right?
And then she's wearing stockings, and then she's wearing these knee-high fishnet sequin boots.
Right. It's just a lot
going on.
And her
these ugly earrings.
Yep, go down to like her boobs or something. So they're at this event, and he finally it's not even he finally tells her. He tries to let her understand that he likes her. But this little cat and mouse game that they're playing, like, it's not It's not cute. It's not reading cute. It's not reading like, ooh, suspense. It's literally just like, you have no chemistry.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like the whole okay, so after that New Year's Eve party, they go to his room in his penthouse or whatever. He wants to have sex with her. She's kissing him like crazy, and she says, "No, I don't want to have sex with you." So then she sleeps over,
But she apologizes.
which is
and-
crazy. Don't apologize
She's like,
for
"I'm sorry."
saying no.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, my dog's crazy with toys.
Playing with the dog.
Yeah. Um.
But yeah,
Yeah.
don't apologize.
Yeah.
The heck?
Yeah.
Like
No.
if it's your body, like you don't want to do it right now, you don't have to do it right now.
Exactly.
I wanted to make a comment about now I'm over here talking about bodies. Justin Baldoni. So he has a hairy chest, which is perfectly fine. It's just funny because normally I've noticed in a lot of movies, like the guy is like super ripped and whatever, but he's just like clean.
Yeah.
And I was like, you look good with the hair. Like, go off.
I don't
It
mind
makes it
it.
look like more mature as well. I
Yeah.
think. Yeah, their chemistry sucks.
It's terrible. And so anyways, they sleep over and then she's going to get water in his kitchen when his sister walks in and she's like, "Oh, hell no." And pretty much says, if you want nothing from him, then go for it. But like if you're looking for something more, then he's not the one.
And he's over here saying it's different.
Yes.
Bitch, now you're really just saying whatever you want to say to make it to home run, which is she didn't sleep with you last night, so now you're trying to say whatever you can so that you can sleep with her.
Exactly. So he says, "Date me." And if I feel like that's super forced. Like,
Yep. They go on dates and then she sleeps with him finally. Imagine if she slept with him and he's like, okay, it's out of my system now.
I do like that his sister is honest, though. I will
Yeah.
say, like, it's a 50-50. Sometimes it's kind of like when family meddles in a relationship, it's kind of like mind your business. But they barely know each other. Like you said, this is the third time they're meeting.
yeah.
And that's supposed to be her closest friend. That's her boss, whatever. Again, they've only been around each other for a time span of less than 3 months, if anything. Alyssa with Lily. So I think it's nice that she's giving her a simple rundown of just saying exactly that.
Like how he is.
Yeah.
And she can trust it because it's like, if anything, you would think she would talk her brother up because it's her brother.
Right.
Right. But she's like, no.
I think she's the best. She's my favorite character. Both.
She's
She's a girl's girl.
she's a girl's girl. That's what I wanted to say. Yeah. So like her. So yeah.
Oh, last thing. I hate that she did not wash her face.
She pretty much goes to sleep with her makeup on and wakes up with her makeup on, and it's so gross. Actually, they didn't
girl,
shower at all.
We got to think
Didn't
about the skincare.
She didn't take her musty fishnets off.
Yeah.
She didn't wash her face. She didn't brush her teeth.
Nope.
She just put her hair up.
Just put her hair
She
up.
said we're going to sleep.
You know,
Mm.
to me, unrealistic things. Like, I'm not saying no. People do go to bed without showering. They go to bed with their makeup on and all that stuff. But listen, if my boyfriend I'm not kissing him without him brushing his teeth. Like,
Yeah.
that's just facts.
Mm-hmm.
You
Sorry.
might do that, but it's still disgusting.
And there's something to me
nothing
about being out and about in the city and you come home and you lay in your bed. I'm like, ugh, no.
Me
I
in
can't.
general, like laying in bed, if I've worn clothes outside,
Absolutely not.
even if I've just been outside for like 10 minutes, it's disgusting.
Yeah. No.
Them rolling around in her bed after they've been outside on dates and stuff,
Yeah.
that's disgusting.
No. Yeah. All right. Back to it at 49 minutes and 23 seconds.
Okay.
Talk
So
for a
we've
second.
met Atlas.
Yes.
Young and current.
Yes.
Yeah. That's basically the scene. I mean, that's that. Nothing else happened.
Okay, I guess
Yeah.
that's true. Okay, let's
His
wait.
restaurant is called,
Okay, hold on.
His restaurant is called Roots in the movie, which is not the same in the book.
Oh, what was it in the book?
Bibs, better in Boston.
Oh,
Oh, so that's his restaurant. He's not just the waiter. Oh.
spoiler.
I thought it was
Girl,
just
I
the
can't
waiter.
remember anything. So I'm like, yeah.
So the restaurant is
Is
called
his.
Roots in the movie. But yeah, in the book, it's called Bibs, which stands for better in Boston.
Okay.
Ryle meets the mom. Mom loves Ryle.
Right.
She thinks he's hot, which she's not wrong.
Not wrong.
He certainly is.
Yeah.
But Atlas is definitely giving boy next door, which is
Yeah.
very...
Atlas
He's very
says that
cute.
he is dating a woman named Cassie when
Mhm.
she asks if he has a girlfriend.
Yep.
Um,
We get a flashback of them talking about his plans for the future when they're teenagers, and that's the first time that they, you know, whatever,
Have
do
sex.
their thing. But you can definitely see that she's very comfortable as a teen, comfortable with Atlas
Mhm.
in comparison to her chemistry as an adult with Ryle,
Yeah.
for sure. It's very forced.
it's still very, which he said like in the beginning that he doesn't like love, he likes lust. And I feel like the relationship is still just like lust.
Lustful. Yeah, that's a
sense,
good
yeah.
thing. And I will give it to, I guess, Blake in the movie that her eyes did light up when she saw
Atlas.
Atlas.
A moment of
Yeah.
good acting.
A moment of good acting in this film. And I do like the bus scene when the mean girl, Katie, or whatever her name is making fun of him. And she tells him to, and Lily tells him to stand up, and she kisses him in front of the mean girl and shoots her the middle finger. And it's like, fuck you.
Yeah. Fucking
Period.
high school kids, man. Fucking rude.
We stand teenage Lily Bloom. Hold on one second.
Yes. 1000%.
Maybe she
Do you remember in the book if they have any more dialogue in their first meetup as adults?
Her
Well,
and
so their
Atlas?
first,
Yeah.
their first encounter. I'm trying to remember. No, I think that was majority of their encounter. Yeah, I don't think there was much more.
Because obviously, you know, in a book, it's always going to be more descriptive, obviously, because you have to visualize everything. And then in a movie, they can cut a couple things out because you're literally seeing the vision. But I was like, that was a very weird first conversation. I mean, I understand that it's awkward. You're finally seeing your first love from ages ago, which clearly they still have a thing for each other. It's not
Mhm.
like a first love gone bad.
Mhm.
So it's understandable for the conversation to be awkward. I just felt like he didn't say much words, and I could have sworn he did in the book. So I'm just wondering what got cut out, but maybe I'm wrong. Again, I haven't read the book in a while.
All right.
I don't remember.
Back to watching at 1 hour and 50 seconds.
I'm so fucking confused. Pause really quick. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
She just looked in the fucking mirror
And
and
didn't
it
have
was
black
not
eye.
like that.
Yeah.
Which I get it. I mean, it should look like that.
Right.
But consistency, makeup crew, like what the fuck? How do you the timing of them being in the car to them being at the restaurant, what, less than 30 minutes? Like,
And
how
she
the
put
fuck-
concealer on.
And she put concealer on. Like,
And now
why
it's
does
more
your fucking
prominent.
eye look like that?
Yeah.
It should have been looking like that the whole time. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Anyways, that's distracting me.
Wait, so what happened? The frittata was burning. He tried to take it out.
So he tried to get the frittata's burning. He opens the oven and he's trying to take it out. And instead of grabbing a mitt, he wasn't thinking. He just
Yeah.
wanted to get it out of the oven.
Right.
But she notices that he's gonna grab it, so she went to get him a mitt. And then at the same time, he touched the pan or whatever, and it burned him. And he went like this, and he hit her in the face.
Okay. For some reason, I thought I saw like the microwave, like a microwave door or something flying towards her face. Okay.
Yeah, so he hit her
Okay.
on accident.
Which is
But it doesn't happen like that in the book. It's like
In the
he
book, it's
actually hit her.
So in the book, it is different, and I think that's initially I didn't like the movie with the way that they portray the scenes, but it explains it at the end. But in the book, he's cooking dinner and they're having like a dinner together, and they're both drinking, and so they're both drunk that's when they realize the casserole is burning, and so he instinctively like goes to grab it. He burns his hand and drops it. She's drunk, so she's laughing at him.
Mhm.
And he's freaking out because he has a surgery. And so he's like, he's freaking out, like, my hand, it's messed up. I had the surgery. But drunkenly, she's like laughing at him. And so that's when he gets pissed off.
And that's when he hits her.
And that's when, so it wasn't like, it didn't happen like that to look accidental at all.
Like he meant to hit her.
Like
back.
Yeah.
Like he slaps her.
Right.
And then she doesn't know what happens, and he was like, it was an accident, right? So in the book.
And I think
So
he
she's
paints the
believing,
picture.
yeah. So she's believing that it is an accident, which he did hit her.
Yeah.
And then in this one,
It's actually portrayed as an accident.
right, which regardless, then the question is, did he purposely do that or whatever? But it's like, you can clearly see that it was an accident, but and I understand that it's something that is hard to see, you know, in a movie like domestic violence, but that's what the movie is. And
Right.
and
That's what I've
for
heard.
me, wish they would have portrayed it a little bit more like that. Like he really hit her.
On purpose.
They
Yeah.
do a little like cleaning up at the end, like halfway there, it'll show it in terms of like portraying it more that way. But I still think that they should have stayed a little truer to what happened.
Yeah.
Because that's what I've heard about this book or this movie, is that it's obviously with her parents' history or whatever, it's supposed to be a lot about domestic violence. And so when that scene came up just now, I was like, well, that's not really
Yeah.
domestic violence. That was
There's like, yeah, it'll show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay. All right. Continuing at 1 hour, 7 minutes and 40
It was
minutes.
just 7 minutes. That was the scene.
I mean, that was a big scene.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Pause really quick. Sorry.
Okay.
Because this is so annoying that it's not the same as the book. So obviously we told you how it happened in the book. So
Yeah.
yeah. So the reaction is warranted. I mean, his reaction, whatever. He doesn't know the story, right?
Right.
But it's like it pretty much happens almost the same in the book. How he sees his hand, he sees that she has a fucking black eye.
Mhm.
Is this with the family, or was this the first time with the mom? I could have sworn that the mom was in the scene.
No. So I actually went to go back and find it in the book. And so the first scene was correct with the mom. And their interaction was also actually even less in the book than it was.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, no, this one was with, because that's the only reason that they end up eating there again is because the sister.
The sister. Okay.
I was looking to see it.
Yeah. The
But yeah,
reaction.
he sees the hand taped up. He sees that she has a black eye. Is this about that scene?
Well, okay. It's like it's in general. So in the book, Lily in the opening scene says her naked truth about having sex with a homeless guy. She doesn't say the name. And so in the book, Lily had written, like she kept diaries basically and like wrote down, it's such like a big part that I feel like they left out, but when she was younger, she would write letters to Ellen DeGeneres because she loved Ellen DeGeneres.
Okay.
Because she
Makes
liked
sense why I'm watching her.
because she liked Finding Nemo. And because
that's
Ellen
cool.
DeGeneres voiced Dory, she really liked Ellen DeGeneres. So she, like, as a diary, would write letters to Ellen DeGeneres, basically just accounting her life. And, like, that's how in the book you find out about her past. It doesn't do flashbacks. It, like, you read chapters
letters.
from her diary.
Yeah. Okay.
And so in the book, she has the diaries and Ryle finds them and he reads them without her knowing.
Okay.
And so that's when he finds out about Atlas.
Mm.
And so in this scene, he has no idea who Atlas is, but when he finds them together, he says, "Is this Atlas?" And she's like, "How does he know that name?" And it's because he's been reading her diaries
Okay.
without her knowing.
Okay.
And so I also think that doesn't help with like holding him accountable and also at fault in that scene, because it's like he displaced his trust, like her trust in him, because he was reading her diaries.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're here. It's just you're a sociopath. You are following her everywhere. Because what was the point of him going to find her? Again, the scene was not that long for her to be in the bathroom. Him, obviously, Atlas going in the bathroom, whatever, having that conversation. But what warranted you to go check on her?
I think he saw.
Oh, right, because it's a very small fucking.
It's a restaurant. So
Restaurant.
he saw Atlas walk that way, and the other Alyssa's husband thought he had offended him or something like that. So he sees Atlas go that way, and then you see Lily all of a sudden like, oh well, I gotta go pee, and she's walking the same way.
Mm-hmm.
And so you see his face, and he's like, that's kind of weird.
And I think naturally I mean, it kind of goes without saying, I guess, but his character is naturally very jealous and possessive.
Right.
And so I don't think that they displayed it enough in the movie to kind of
Yeah.
see it up until this scene, basically.
And from how they make it sound in the movie is that I don't know. He's maybe been in a serious relationship, but serious relationships are not what he does.
Yeah.
And so this whole thing is very like, I guess he doesn't know what to do, or he doesn't like have, I don't know.
Well, and I think in the book and in the movie still, I think it's more so like another manipulation tactic is like him placing blame on her and saying like, I didn't want a relationship. Like you wanted a relationship. I didn't want a relationship.
Right.
Bitch, bye. You're the one that told her you
Yeah,
loved her
but,
first.
like blaming her for
Yeah,
him feeling
yeah.
this way of like being jealous.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that whole
is the whole
scene,
narcissist thing. Yeah, narcissistic. The narcissistic English person in the
Yeah.
relationship does that to their partner,
Partner.
which is unfortunate. Yeah, it was just again.
Whereas like hearing her out first, but no, going straight swinging,
Right.
wild.
Yeah.
Although I guess technically Atlas swung at him first. Kind of.
Well, because he was pissed,
yeah.
rightfully so. But again, it was I just wish that they would have shown in how it happened in the book, because it makes more sense. Where Ryle tells her, is like pleading to her, it was an accident, right? She, in the movie, she gets hit, and for her, she's already claiming that it was an accident. Where in the book, she doesn't know what happened, and he's telling her it was an accident. So he's messing with her brain. She believes that whatever, the altercation that happens is an actual accident. So it does make sense that she's not understanding where Atlas is coming from, where she's like, no, you're wrong. Where you could kind of say it's the same thing in the movie, but again, it was shown like he hit her on accident because he got his fucking hand burnt. So,
right.
All right.
Yeah, I just don't like it because obviously we read the book, so I'm like, it's not matching.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, even as someone that didn't read the book, I was like, okay, well now it's just like, it's almost just like one big misunderstanding versus like
What it actually
Atlas actually having a reason to be
Yeah.
angry.
I also, after we watched the movie, I found an article that like names the differences in the book and movie.
Oh.
So we can see it.
Talk about him.
Yeah.
I do like though that he knows her past and he sees a repetition of her past because clearly he just said, so what, you're trying to be like your mom now, basically?
Yeah.
Which is a huge diss and it's unfortunate, but it's the truth. Her mom was abused and now she put herself in an abusive relationship in his eyes. I like that he sees the signs and he's trying to protect her after all these years.
He still cares about her.
Yeah.
Obviously. All right. Back at it at 1 hour, 12 minutes, and 25 seconds.
All right, pause.
Okay.
Let us recollect what just happened. Oh, good. We only have 35 minutes left. Okay. We ended at the last time we paused it, they had the fight. So just going down the timeline, basically they get married. Ryle and Lily.
Right. He proposes to her after his sister has a baby.
Literally with the baby in his arms, like a fucking weirdo. So they get married.
Yeah.
And then the two big events happen. So she gets pushed down the stairs by him. Oh, the why? Because Atlas stopped by her boutique, gave her his number, and he hid it in her phone case in case she ever needed to use it, because he is very uncomfortable with her being with Ryle. And then Ryle finds it, of course. Also, what do you mean that you just happen to drop her phone? Like,
And the case falls off.
and the case falls off. Like, weird. But anyways, he finds the number, he calls it, and realizes whose number it is. So he gets upset. She tries to explain herself, tries to diffuse the situation, and he pushes her down the stairs. She wakes up in her bed. She was unconscious for some time, and he's trying to fix up the wound on her head, and he's basically saying that she slipped and fell, not saying that he pushed her. Okay. Then she gets her business is written in like a top 10 for Boston businesses. So her business is in there, and then Atlas's is number 1 for his restaurant. And I guess whatever he wrote in the restaurant is basically a tribute to her. He never names her, but if
It's
you read it
obvious.
and you know, it's obvious. So, of course, Ryle shows up back to their apartment, drunk, upset, and tries to force himself on her. And she's scared.
Yeah.
And she got away. And that's where we're at.
Yeah. So they kind of now are connecting what actually happened, that the time he burnt his hand, it wasn't really like a reactive, oh, I burnt my hand accidentally
Reactively.
hit you in the face.
Right.
It's, oh,
Like, I'm pissed
He-
that you burnt me.
yeah,
Mhm.
hit her. Finn, stop it. And then the stair scene, when you see it originally, it's blurred. It looks like she could have possibly tripped on her own and fallen, but now she's in her car after he tries to force himself on her, and she's like, oh crap. That
Like, he grabbed her and shoved her.
he grabbed and shoved her. The oven scene, it wasn't him accidentally hitting her, he like actually hit her.
Yes.
And so now it's more obvious.
So let me just say, these scenes piss me off greatly. Because I'm thinking of it in real life, right? Men who treat any partner, but obviously this is a guy. So any partner that treats their partner like that, the way he came, because he's jealous, he comes home and he makes her read a paragraph to try to prove a point. Like, you a piece of shit. Period. You're a fucking piece of shit.
Tell me what's wrong.
And then also trying to force yourself on somebody. You're just a terrible person. So I feel for
how much I love you.
psycho. And I feel for people that are in situations like that. Like, it's sad
Yeah.
that they can't get out of that, or they have to deal with that, whatever the case may be. Like, I feel very fortunate that I've never been in a situation like that, but when I see shit like that, it really pisses me off.
Well, and so, because in the book, that last scene before she leaves is a lot worse than in the movie.
Oh.
Yeah.
So in the book, she comes home and he still makes her read the article. And the article was worded a little differently, obviously, but it was more so to do with, like, you know, how did they come up with the name, which it was different in the book, but he was just saying it's paying homage to a girl or someone who made a huge impact on my life, who still does mean a lot to me. And they were like, does this person know that, like, their part in naming a restaurant? And that's when he says, like, next question. And so after they read that same scene happens where he's, like, trying to force himself on her, but to the point where she tries to get away, he headbutts her and makes her pass out in bed. And he's, like, belligerently drunk. And so then he also passes out in bed with her after she's been concussed by him. And she wakes up from being knocked out. And that's when she saved Atlas's number in her phone. And so then she does call Atlas and has him come pick her up.
Yeah.
Rather than her driving
away.
Yeah.
And, like, nothing, like, obviously something still happened, but, like, he still was violent to a point that was, like, her breaking point.
Yeah. I will say I do, and I don't know if this was Justin's idea, but I do kind of like how they did it, where the original abuse scenes were like, now that I know what's going on towards the end, I do like how they show the abuse scenes as it's blurred.
Yeah, like an accident.
It looks like an accident.
Right,
But then you find out.
Yeah, because you're seeing it basically from her point of view.
Right.
Even though it's a small snip, that she's coming to realization that none of it's an accident.
Right.
That his concerns, Atlas's concerns, are real.
Right.
Or are valid, I should say.
Yeah.
Because you don't just accidentally get slapped in the face after your hand gets burned. You don't just accidentally fall down. I mean, you can fall downstairs on accident, but in that moment there, like, Your husband's going to say, oh, you just slipped and fell and I tried to catch you. Just say it's nothing. Girl, we should have been asking some more questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that was a good creative choice for a movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I first watched it, I was like, there's no way that they're going to make these scenes look like this when obviously they had a plan.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it's just, when you read the book first, you always like the book better.
You're getting my real life reaction. I have no idea what the hell's going on. So
that was
I
another
criticized it at first.
Yeah. And I wish they would have left the journals. I feel like it would have been a lot to like keep in there. But I wish they would have left the journals because that is how Ryle finds out like all these things that he would have never found out if he hadn't gone through her things and read her journals. Because also like her tattoo, the tattoo itself she had it because that's the spot that Atlas would always kiss on her when he would spend the night.
Oh, okay.
Like that specific spot.
Yeah.
So she ended up getting it tattooed. So that's how Ryle finds out that like, oh, she wrote about like, oh, he always kisses me in like, the same spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
intense. We have about 35 minutes left.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see what happens. We're at 1 hour, 35 minutes and 42 seconds.
End scene.
and movie.
And movie.
Ouch.
Okay, so last 35 minutes of the movie. She leaves her home. She goes to Atlas's restaurant. Obviously emotional. He feels for her, takes her back to his place where he takes care of her. And then she finds, he takes her to the hospital first. And that's where she finds out that she is pregnant. Then, of course, she stays with him for a little bit. And then, he lets her make her decision. So she decides to move out of her place and get a place of her own. Ryle is trying to get her back, essentially. Like, he keeps sending her texts, calling her. She's not really answering. We love that Alyssa is on her side. And then she has the baby, and she asks for a divorce, and lets Ryle understand that it's not, everything that he did to her, like, that's not okay.
Right.
Would you want your daughter to be in the same situation? So she really opened up his eyes. And then they're basically living their own happy life now. She seems happy with her daughter, and then she runs into Atlas at the end. Yeah. That's basically it.
And we kind of find out that he was the one that accidentally killed his own brother when they were little.
Oh, right.
So that kind of messed him up a little bit. And per his sister, he's never been the same since, which, I mean, that's a very traumatizing thing to happen to somebody. So, like, yeah. I do like how the movie title, It Ends With Us, refers to her ending the cycle of women staying with their abusive husbands. Versus, like, sometimes when you hear, oh, like, it's a love story, it ends with us, that kind of sounds like, oh, it's going to be her ending up with the right guy or something like that. Right. But it actually referred to her and her own daughter and protecting her and ending that cycle of abuse pretty much. Yeah.
They do have a second book. There's a sequel to this. It's called It Starts With Us. I have not read it. I actually have it at home, though. But I guess that's her story with Atlas. So that's like a her and Atlas story. So it comes after this. So
I feel like there's not going to be a sequel now to the movie, considering
what happens between the two actors.
But yeah, I read it. It Starts With Us. It's about her and Atlas, but it's also about like divorce life with her and Ryle after the fact too.
And like having a baby together.
Because it's not just like it's over and done, obviously.
Right.
yeah, they have to co-parent.
Do you want to give ratings overall?
What are your thoughts?
Of the movie?
Yeah.
Out
No,
of
the book.
You've never read it.
Okay. Out of 5?
Do we do a 5 for movies or 10? I kind of do 10 for movies, but we can do out of 5, whatever you guys prefer.
No, we could do 10 for movies. We'll keep books at 5 and TV and movies at 10.
Sure.
Okay. I'll give it a 7. Yeah. I think like I said, I liked the creative aspect of how they showed the perspective of abuse. I thought that was really well done. And like I liked how it ended with her breaking that cycle and her making her daughter her priority and not her and her love life and whatever that was. Acting is fine.
Average.
Average. I thought Justin was great, but some of the other ones I'm like, okay, whatever. And I think the overall like aesthetic of the film is nice, so I enjoyed that. Yeah. Ratings for you guys.
I'm gonna give it a 7 as well. I did read the book. The book for me, very quick read. I don't remember what I rated the book. This is not a love story to me. It's categorized as romance. It is not romance to me. It's just literally a woman, or you seeing a perspective of a woman in domestic violence where, like you said, she breaks the cycle of abuse. So I like that the movie, from reading the book in 2020, watching the movie last year, there's a lot of details that I forgot. But I was like, oh, I remember the book. Like it's pretty similar to the book, besides a couple of things.
Yeah.
I will say, just because I like things to match, I wish they would have shown. Well, hold on. For seeing it the first time last year, I kind of was like, that's not how I remember the violent scenes, right? However, I will say that I do appreciate that they toned it down, because it can be traumatizing for somebody to watch this movie that's been through that.
Right.
And I mean, they'll put anything in a movie, right? But Justin Baldoni, being the director, I think he showed a lot of respect for survivors of like, people get the point. This is what the movie is. We don't have to replay everything that happened in the book. So that's where I'm like, yes, I appreciate that. But then also, again, I just always like things that match. But I will say that I do appreciate, I am more on the sides of, I appreciate that it was a bit toned down for the fact that this is real people's lives. Like, people do go through this.
Right.
I like the scenery and everything, the aesthetic. I like that. It's the story itself. It's not like, I didn't rate the book high. I didn't rate it bad, but it's a whatever to me. So also with the movie, it's like it's fine for what it is.
Yeah.
So it wasn't terrible, but it's not going to get a 10 stars. Yeah. So 7.
I think I gave it a 6. Honestly, I liked it, and I think that the story, because like there are a lot of stories that cover domestic abuse, but I feel like, to your point, they do dramatize it a lot for the fact that it's like a shock value. They want like, that really dramatic scene of him beating a woman for like the shock value of TV or movie, and also showed both sides of like how the person being abused is viewing the situation and then how it actually happened. I read the book right before the movie came out.
Okay.
So my memory was fresh in the book. So I think when I was watching it, I was comparing it really closely to the book. There were a few scenes that I really wish they would have put in the movie. But again, it's like, the movie's already 2 hours long. Like, how much longer can you really get it? But there were 2 scenes that I really enjoyed from the book, and it more so reflected like the support system that she had outside of just
Alyssa,
Ryle and Alyssa, and Atlas, because in the movie it kind of feels like she's more so alone until she meets Alyssa,
Right.
and that's true to a degree, but like she does have more friends and she does have more support outside of that, and so I think that would have aided the character development for her in the movie. But yeah, I give it a 6 as a movie overall. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, overall good movie. But
Good watch.
yeah, it was a good watch. Like, will I ever watch it again? Probably not.
No,
But
I said that too, and I've not watched it.
Or you watched it 3?
Well, when my mom watched it, I watched like some of it, and I remembered it because I had just recently watched it. So I'm like, well, I'm now watching like half of it over again.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would not watch it again after this being my second time.
Yeah.
But for this purpose, this is fine.
Fine.
Yeah.
I will say that, so the 2 scenes that I would have liked from the book. So the first one was in the book, it talks about Atlas's friends. She actually meets 2 of Atlas's friends in the book. And
When they were younger, or
as adults.
Okay.
So after she leaves Ryle and
They're at his place, right? They're like
so
playing
she
games at his house.
So after she's abused, she stays at Atlas's house for a while.
Yeah.
Because she's scared to go back, obviously.
Yeah.
And so Atlas goes back to work and his friends come over, but she's scared because she's like, I don't know who these men are coming to your house. So anyway, she lets them in and they're like, we're here for our poker night with Atlas. We have it every Friday. And so she gets to meet his friends, and like the pivotal moment for me in that scene is that when they're playing poker, or like before Atlas gets home, she's kind of like bonding with his friends, and they're asking like, well, who are you? Why are you here? And she just flat out says like, or because she looks abused, basically. Like she looks beaten up when they see her.
Yeah.
And they were like, what happened? And she flat out says, she's like, my husband, he hit me. Like she kind of makes it a point just to like leave it at that. And they don't delve in deeper. They don't ask her questions. They just kind of like go about their business and like talk to her like normal. And so I think that also helps her like
process it.
Yeah, process it in a way that's not so heavy, but also just be able to like enjoy life outside of this one moment of her being abused.
I think there's also something meaningful in being able to tell someone. That's why therapists exist, right? Like being able to tell someone that doesn't know everything about your life. There's something like something kind of healing about telling a stranger almost.
Yeah, like somebody who's unbiased.
Because they can't, they're unbiased and they can't necessarily judge you.
Yeah, and they'll listen to you.
Right.
Instead of putting their, like you said, they're not going to judge you. They're not putting their judgment or how they feel like you should deal with the situation. They want to help you process it in your way.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other one was how she tells Ryle about her being pregnant, because she finds out the same way. But because she stays with Atlas so long, she doesn't really see his sister or any of his family for quite some time. And in the book, Ryle ends up getting I think it's like a residency or something like medically in England. And so he leaves for like a 6-month or something, like, I don't know if it's called residency, but whatever it's called. And so when she goes back to get her stuff, he says that he's going to England. So she's welcome to obviously stay in the apartment while he's gone, and they can have time apart from each other. And so she doesn't tell him that she's pregnant when he leaves. And so she's able to hide the pregnancy from him for quite some time. But then obviously she's with Alyssa a lot. And so finally, like, she tells Alyssa that she's pregnant and is keeping up the guise that her and Ryle are good for months. But then when she finally decides to tell Alyssa, that same scene happens where she like tells her that he was abusive. And it also includes Marshall, her husband. So then when she finally decides, when she finally is like, I have to tell Ryle, like, obviously I'm showing, he comes back from England, but because she's so nervous to tell him, she has Marshall and Alyssa like mediate in a setting for her to tell Ryle that she's pregnant because she doesn't know how he's going to react.
Yeah.
And so I liked that scene also because, I mean, that one scene with Alyssa showed, like, obviously she will support, like, she's not just going to support her brother,
just
regardless
it's a brother.
if he's an abuser.
Right.
But I liked that scene as well because it also, like, showed Marshall, like, them as a couple, because Marshall is his best friend, and that he will still also, like, just because he's her best friend, it doesn't mean what he did was right.
Yeah.
So I also liked that scene. But yeah, that was my favorite line when she said, like, as your best friend, if you go back to him, I will never forgive you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Period, Alyssa. We like the A's in this movie. Alyssa and Atlas.
Alyssa and Atlas.
They have good head on their shoulders. Okay.
But yeah, overall it was good.
Yeah.
That was my first Colleen Hoover book I'd ever read.
I've never read anything from her. Sorry, Colleen. Maybe I will.
Maybe one day.
So a lot of these romance books have that are turned into adaptations, whether they're movies or series. A lot of the authors do cameos. It happened with the After series. It happened with Divergent, Victoria
I didn't know that.
Roth.
I don't think I know
What's her
what
name?
they look like, though.
Anyways, she was in the movie too. And I'm sure there's others, but it's just funny to me because I'm like, I wish they would be a character with some lines or something. Like, you want to be so bad in your freaking book
Like,
adaptation, like at least
Like
get
Stan
some-
Lee when he's in his Marvel movie.
Yeah,
he always has like
one
at
line.
least one line.
Yeah,
and it's
like-
always funny.
Yeah.
get some type of credit, not just a background, because then nobody.
Like, she
I
could have been
wouldn't
the
know.
doctor that came in and told her she was, like, asked her about the
Right.
rape exam. You know,
Instead,
or
you
whatever.
get Justin Baldoni's wife that also makes a cameo, but she's the actual doctor that's doing the
ultrasound.
ultrasound for her.
Yeah.
So,
And she had a line.
yeah, outfits atrocious. Specifically for the women. I don't know what was going on there, but
They weren't as noticeable towards the end.
it was better in the end.
Yeah,
It was.
just because it was more toned down. Like, now it's very serious, you know? So it's like, it wasn't a distraction.
Yeah, and I don't know, like, obviously I don't know their, like, entire creative process. I don't know if it was on purpose to show, like, her hair and her outfits being chaotic and representing the chaos in her life, like something deep like that. I don't know. But it got better towards the end. But in the beginning, I was like, what
wasn't
the heck? Yeah. I was like, what is going on?
Yeah. Yeah.
So the outfits for me get, like, a 1.
1 out of 10.
Yeah, they're not good at all. Alyssa's outfits calmed down too towards the end.
Yeah.
Well, she picked one pattern versus like
Yeah.
3 patterns.
She's like, I'm
full
going to
ones.
be a mother, so I have to
I'm a mother
tone
now.
it down.
Did they say what they named her daughter in the movie?
Alyssa's daughter? I don't think so.
think so.
I missed it if
She
they
names
did.
her Riley. She adds an
okay.
E at the end of Ryle's
Oh.
name. Both of the babies' names were significant.
Oh, okay. Named after her brother, and then theirs
both
named
her
after the other
brothers.
brother.
Both
Yeah.
both
Yeah.
her brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there any other differences that you said?
There are some. Oh, the other one too, which is significant, but like again, not really important. So with her whole obsession with like Finding Nemo and Ellen DeGeneres and whatever,
Yeah.
that was also like her and Atlas when they were younger. They would watch Finding Nemo together a lot when he would come over, and so when she has her baby Emerson. And she meets, in the book, the last scene is her seeing Atlas just out on the street and with Emerson. And she tells Atlas that the middle name is Dory.
Oh,
So she names her Emerson Dory Kincaid.
okay. It's quite the name.
I hate that.
The Dory, like, it's,
The Dory name, I
the Dory
hate.
name is, it sucks. But like it also,
I mean, why not like Emerson Ellen, maybe?
maybe.
Yeah.
But
Nobody
it
wants to be named after Ellen DeGeneres. Sorry. Sorry, not sorry,
But
actually.
it's supposed, obviously it's supposed to be like a piece of him is
It-
representative of, you know, I think him helping her get Emerson out of
Out of
their
that
I
situation.
understand that.
But which also sets up the next book of Ryle being fucking pissed when he finds out that that's fine.
I read this book.
He gets mad about a lot of things.
That was another thing too, and maybe it's more so in the second book. But I think that like in the book too, he recognizes that he has anger issues in the first book more than he does in the movie, and so I feel like he makes it a point to say that he's like trying to work on his anger issues. Versus in this, like he doesn't really recognize that he has any anger issues, but then just
Yeah.
goes straight to abusing her. But so the difference is
And saying that he's not showing her love enough. Like, fuck out of here.
So let's see. So one was that when Lily in the book, Lily opens her flower shop as a college graduate. But in the movie, Lily quits her job to follow her dream to open the flower shop. So altogether,
that wasn't also really clear.
yeah, it wasn't at all.
I
But
was like-
altogether, the book, she's younger.
She's
than
right,
she
yeah,
is in
that's
this.
what I
Like
heard.
she's supposed to be like mid to
fresh
late
college.
20s.
Yeah.
well, like, I think mid-20s versus like late 20s, early 30s.
30s.
So that's
Yeah,
a
when she was coming up
difference.
with a flower shop, I was like, what were you doing before? Like, you just had money to open
Yeah.
to buy this store?
Yeah,
That's not clear. Not that
Okay.
it's super important. Atlas and Lily's breakup is unclear. In the book, when Lily's dad puts Atlas in the hospital,
Yeah.
Atlas promises to come get her, but they never see each other again. In the movie, we see that moment, but there's no promise, and it's not clear that it's the last time they saw each other. You would have to have read the books to know that. So yeah, when her dad beats Atlas, that is the last time she sees him in both the book and the movie. The restaurant name is different.
Yeah.
In the book, it's called Bibs, which is for Better in Boston. In the movie, it's called Roots, like the plants, is what
Yeah.
it says. Yeah, and in the book, too, Better in Boston, it refers to, because Atlas gave Lily a magnet that said everything's better in Boston, and that she kept as like a souvenir of his.
Oh.
And so she had it when she was with Ryle and put it on the fridge, and then when he was like a dumbass, and when he reads her journals, that's when he finds out that magnet is from Alice.
Did the same phone scene happen in the book? Like when he finds the
It
phone
did.
number? Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, similar, same thing. That's how he finds the number. The Ellen diaries are not in the book. So in the book, Lily's teenage diaries are addressed to Ellen DeGeneres because she's a true millennial and a huge fan of the comedian's daytime show. In the movie, we see teenage Lily watching the Ellen DeGeneres show after school, but the diaries are not mentioned. Lily and Ryle's marriage is rushed, but not that rushed. So he still proposes to her after his sister gives birth, but they end up going to Vegas to get married on a whim.
okay.
And in the book, it looks like he basically just gets married immediately after that scene. Ryle's tragic backstory is revealed in a different way. So in the book, at his sister Alyssa's insistence, Ryle tells Lily that he killed his brother Emerson when they were children. The accident is similar to what happened to a patient that Ryle lost on the night he and Lily met on the roof. So I guess that was true.
Okay.
So yeah, his sister, I think because she starts finding out that like his anger issues are kind of coming up, and I think that his sister already knew that he had anger issues just from previous. I think she pushes him to tell Lily about why he is the way he is. And then in the movie, Lily finds out because Alyssa tells her. When Lily gets out, she really gets out. In the book, Ryle leaves the country for a fellowship. That's what it's called, a fellowship. And pregnant Lily returns to their home. In the movie, she gets her own apartment and moves out while Ryle is still wearing his wedding band.
That's right. That I was like, I could have sworn that she stays in their apartment, like his apartment, essentially. Yeah.
That's
So that
why,
makes
because like during her pregnancy, she's still close to Alyssa, and it's because they live right next to each other.
sense. Yeah. They
I
live in
wouldn't
the
be
same
able to
building.
stay there.
Yeah,
that
that
was
would be.
me,
I would just be nervous that he would come back at any time. You know?
That, and it doesn't hold a lot of positive memories.
Yeah.
For an environment to raise a baby in your
This is true.
belly.
Let me see if there are any other ones. I think that was mostly it.
To raise, to grow.
To grow, whatever.
I guess on the first night that Lily and Ryle meet, one of her first naked truths that she tells Ryle is that her parents were abusive. So she told him that from the beginning.
Early on, yeah.
In the book, Lily has a roommate. Her name is Lucy.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, they share an apartment, but then
She moves out to move in with them.
yeah, not huge significance, so it was fine that they got rid of that too.
I kind of wish they had kept the scene with Atlas's friends at his place, because also it looks like he's a loser and has no friends.
It looks like he's been waiting for her his entire life. And
Literally, he has
nothing else
no
besides
one
a
in his
restaurant.
life.
Well, and also
Because he
I
said
mean,
there was no Cassie, right? He just made that up.
yeah, which
Yeah.
he didn't address in the movie that he lied about that. I mean, kind of.
Kind of.
Obviously, it was
When
clear
she
that
walked
she didn't
in.
exist.
Yeah.
Oh, because that was in the book. I think it was the friends. She asked them about Cassie, and they're like, "Who the fuck is Cassie?"
Yeah.
Which I think again they can't do it. They can't do a second movie, but they won't. But I was like, they could have fleshed the friends out and all that stuff in the second one. But
I mean, they can. They just need to change one of the characters.
Whichever
the
one you want to
excuse me.
change.
The
They either
actors.
change the actors and change the director.
preferably Blake.
Oh,
I don't care for her.
Yeah, the girl that played
for me
her
too.
could be
yeah.
Lily Bloom. The girl that played her as a teenager could be Lily Bloom.
Oh yeah, if she's old, if they wait long enough. She's old enough.
That, but a little bit of makeup can make you look like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or maybe she could just look really good for her age. Yeah, I think for me, as someone that didn't read the book, I guess the friend scene would have been nice, but
again, it's like the movie's already 2 hours long. If you went any longer, nobody's watching that shit. Yeah.
Well,
It ends with us.
yeah. And that's, I guess, the end of this episode.
Yeah. This was our first episode about a movie or TV series.
Yep.
Let us know what you think. If you have seen It Ends With Us, if you enjoyed it, no judgment here. If your team Blake Lively, judgment here.
We're only focused on the fictional characters here, not the real people. We don't care about them.
If you read the book, would you prefer the book or the movie?
And
I don't know what we're doing for our next episode, but
you'll find out. When
Yeah, it'll be either a series or another book.
movie? Book?
But most likely a series. We're just dabbling into any type of fiction.
Yeah.
So if you have any recommendations, send them our way. We're open to series that are limited. Not like 10 seasons, freaking 16 episodes each.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks for watching.
Like, subscribe. You can find us on Instagram at fictionallyunstablepod, and also now on TikTok on the same handle.
If you want to watch us merge our podcast content with us being dancers, that's the place to find it.
It's on TikTok.
Yeah.
That's what we're just gonna dump stuff on. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then until next time, I guess
See ya.
stay
See ya.
unstable or something like that.
Embrace the instability.
There, that's the line.
Which one goes where? Yeah.
Catch you next time.
Bye.
Goodbye.